Hi, welcome to the Destin Business Forum brought to you by the Destin Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Amy Perry, and our guest today is Dave Rauschkolb. You are the founder and owner of all the Bud and Alley restaurants.
That's
the Bud
right.
and Alley Restaurant Group, is that what it's called now?
Yeah, I never thought that would ever happen, but that's kind of what it's turning out to be.
I think that's really cool that somebody like you who just had one restaurant has slowly grown.
Well, when I bought out my business partner about 7 years ago, I always wanted to do a Mexican restaurant, so I did that. And then I always wanted to do a pizza place. I felt like there was a need for both of those on 30A.
Yes.
And they were within a stone's throw from Bud and Alley, so that worked out really well.
Yes, and the food there is delicious. I've been there probably too many times, but it's all really good. Okay, so you did that kind of slow growth, and then you opened two new things within the last, 6 months, year?
Well, to follow that line, I've always wanted to open a catering business. There's, the Bud and Alley's kitchen was actually the catering kitchen in Bud and Alley's turned into the taco bar kitchen.
Okay.
So that sort of kept us from being able to do off-premises events. And there's obviously a tremendous opportunity to do a lot of off-site catering along the 30A area and really the larger Northwest Florida area.
Right.
So an opportunity came up for me to purchase this building in Grayton Beach, and there was already an existing business there that was a catering company. So I bought them out, and that is now Bud and Alley's Dine by Design Catering. And all of our events are now on-premises and off-premises events are being booked through that.
Okay.
So if somebody wanted to book an event at their home or book an event at any of the Bud and Alley's restaurants, they would just go to budandalleys.com and they just click on the wedding thing and get a hold of Kendall Barrett. Gotcha. And we have a staff of incredibly talented folks that expedite those events very efficiently. So
I went to somebody's birthday party not too long ago, and that was at Bud and Alley's, and that was so much. You were there. That was so much fun. The band was awesome. The food was just. They had to drag me away from the tables because it was just dynamite.
Well, we have such great locations,
yeah.
And I know you're going to ask me about the Panama City location.
Yes, I am.
I've always wanted to have a restaurant on a working waterfront.
Yeah.
And I always admired Charles Morgan, at Harbor Docks, and he's a good friend and such a great operator. And the idea of having a restaurant like that was really something that appealed to me. And when I was in Panama City one day, I always keep my boat there at the Lighthouse Marina, and I'd always admired the old boatyard location, and because it had a big open air roof deck, and it's just a gorgeous place. And go ahead.
The pictures are gorgeous. I've seen on your Facebook. It's beautiful. I haven't been out there yet, but it just looks like an awesome place to have a restaurant, and I hear that it is.
It truly is. It truly is. It's just right there on Grand Lagoon, right next to Capt Anderson's, which, by the way, set the gold standard for Florida cuisine over 40 years ago. And we're both actually a Florida Trend Golden Spoon Hall of Famers, right next to each other. So
that's awesome. So you have great choices.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And good food. Oh, the fish. I see, you mentioned Charles Morgan. I see his commercials, his ads in the paper, and he talks about all the different restaurants that he sells to, and Bud and Alley's is one of them. And you can tell when you go to a place that has fresh seafood and one that doesn't, and yours have the fresh seafood. It's so good.
Well, I am working on getting a seafood market as well.
Let me guess, you always wanted one of those.
Yes. Well, it cuts out the middleman.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, Dave, it sounds like everything that you always wanted, you get. Is that true?
Most of the time, and although I will say that I try never to be too disappointed when things don't work out, because a lot of times in life when things don't work out the way you want, and down the road you're kind of glad it didn't for some reason or another.
Right. So I guess you'll be telling your daughter Carlin that later on, right?
Well, I hope she'll want to be in the restaurant business, but
she'll have a great in. Okay, so we've talked about all the different restaurants. Let's back up a little bit and tell me why you wanted to get into the restaurant business how many years ago?
I didn't want to get into the restaurant business.
Okay, that's the one thing that you didn't want to do. Everything else works out. So the lesson is do something you don't want to do and it all works
No,
out.
my former business partner, Scott Witkoski, sort of dragged me into it. I was a senior in college, going to University of West Florida and about to finish school. And we were surfing buddies, and we both worked at Les Saisons French restaurant in Destin. And one day we were going out there, and he had heard from Robert Davis, and we stopped. I didn't want to because the surf was good that day. And we stopped, and we got in that building, and our lives were changed. And that was nearly 30 years ago.
Wow.
And I can't believe it, but I just love being out there. I'm still obviously very excited about being in the restaurant business.
Yeah.
And I like new challenges. And the thing that makes it possible for me is I've got amazing people that work with me. And,
I was going to ask you about that, just being a business owner myself and talking to other business owners within the chamber. You don't have a lot of turnover, right? And what's your secret? What do you do?
Well, I lead by empowerment. I don't micromanage. I empower these folks to do the great job that they do. And I also provide a secure working environment for them. I really think it's important to provide health insurance to the best extent ability, vision, dental. I like to not overwork them. There's a lot of burnout in the restaurant business, so I think that it's incredibly important. All my chefs and managers don't work more than a 5-day work week. They get 2 days off in a row. They get 2 weeks paid vacation right from the first day. They don't have to work for 3 or 5 years just to get 1 day in this. It's like I want them to have a secure family life, to be able to enjoy and have a family outside, and a life outside of the business, so that they can be fresh and positive and good, working at the restaurant. And to me, that equates straight to the customer. If my managers and chefs are happy in their lives and fulfilled and empowered, then the people underneath them are, and that makes the customer experience positive.
Trickles down. I've been at your restaurants before when you're not there, and you couldn't tell that you weren't there. Everybody is just working. It works like a finely tuned clock.
Oh, well,
I think.
That's good.
And I think that says a lot, because I've been in other businesses where the owners aren't there and people are on the phone. They're just not. They're not behaving the way they should.
Yeah.
And I don't see that at Bud and Alley's. All right, we don't have much time, but what do you like to do in your off time besides hang out with your beautiful wife Carol and your baby daughter Carlin?
Well, surfing is my greatest love, but I love to surf, and believe it or not, there's really good surf here when it's up. I absolutely love to play golf, and I like to play poker. I'm a pretty competitive guy, believe it or not.
Yeah, I know.
I competed in surfing for several years. I
did not know that.
I won the Gulf Coast Men's Championship in 1981.
Wow, I did not know that. I knew the thing about the poker because I've played with you before. I don't know everything. Can you believe that? Dave, I hope you come back, or maybe we can go out to one of your restaurants and do a program out there. How about that?
That would be great. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you for coming. Yeah. We'll be back.